Hi. Since you've received, at least got access to this video, you must have completed the syllabus quiz. So what I'll do each week is kind of post a quick video as to what to expect for each week. So I call it a week at a glance, but it gives you a quick view of what assignments are due, tests, issues, questions that I want you to look at. Usually I will post a resources section, an assignment section, and an exam section. This week you've got a resource section that has the links to setting up your development environment based on which operating system you want to use, Windows, Mac, or Linux. The appendix in the end of the textbook gives you set up for that. And if you click this link here, read more, it gives you the links of the 4 different applications that need to be done. You're going to see XAMPP is that's going to be running your server. And then you got development environment. If you needed a notepad, if you needed some way of creating your code, I highly recommend NetBeans, but if you want to use Notepad++, you can do that. And then there's a link to Xdebug. That is a feature we'll use a little bit later in the course. I also have PowerPoint slides, video of the lecture material. And this first section has also student resources. This student resource file has a zip file in it that has several bits of information. It has a folder called htdocs. Whoops, you probably slid off the page there. htdocs. And in there, you're going to see code for the applications that are in the textbook per chapter basis. So if you want to know exactly how the textbook did, what's the code look like, or at least want to play with it, you can. And it has this EX starts, which on some of the assignments, it gives you a starting point for the assignments that I may assign you. So if I assign you exercise 1 and 2 in chapter 2, you have starting code in that, and you'll see you've got a PHP file that's in here, but this will give you of course, the instructions in the lab will tell you how to implant or whatever you're going to do with any of this information. So I find it highly, probably to your advantage, to download that and play with it. So it may be very helpful. I also have, for those of you that like definitions of terms, I've posted Quizlet, and here you can just get definitions of different terms. So if you're so interested. Now the assignments section, now this week there's a couple assignments. You're going to, this may be one of your tougher weeks, and only from the standpoint you got to set up your development environment. But what I want you to do is introduce yourself. In this, I don't care if it's a video, I don't care if it's a PowerPoint, Word document, some way that you feel creative that you can answer these questions. One is I want some picture of yourself. That way, at least if I run into you in the hallway or you stop by my office, there may be a possibility I'd recognize you. Beyond the picture, I'm looking to have you answer these 5 questions. What qualities do you look for in a teacher? So that, one, at least I know what you expect, and maybe there's things that I could do better to make this class go a little bit easier. What are you passionate about? That way, what gets you out of bed in the morning? And then, what's one big question that you want answered this year? I mean, being January, you already did your New Year's resolution. What big questions do you have this year? Then I want you to think about yourself and say, what strengths do you have? And maybe how can we utilize them in this class? Maybe you feel like you're a great debugger of software, and Maybe we can share that with the class and say, if somebody's got a question debugging software, see you. Or I'm great at artistic, graphic art. So if somebody wanted to change, make some changes to a program in the future. So just some of your strengths and maybe how we can utilize them in this class. And then the last one is, what does success in this class look like to you? I know being a student, you can like, oh, I only worry about a grade. Is that really all there is? Would you consider yourself successful if you just got a C? Maybe some of you that's good enough. I hope not, but maybe. But just what would success look like? Your next assignment has to be creating your development environment. Based on which environments you're going to use, the textbook shows you, step by step. And for the most part, I think those step seems to work. Hopefully, I've made an attempt to verify that all the links that I've posted work. But I did the final check in December. Who knows what they could have made a change, and if so, you may just want to use your best friend Google to figure out where it is now. And all I want is a screenshot that you've done each of the steps. And then once you've done that, I want you to look at exercises 1, 2, 3, and 4 and just show me a screenshot of the completion of that. So that's really all I'm looking for as far as those two assignments are concerned. Now, the reflection journal, like I said earlier, it's what I use for attendance. They're due Monday at midnight, but I'll take late submissions till Wednesday midnight. If when I take attendance on Thursday, there's no evidence of a reflection journal, you will be marked absent for the week. You can turn all the assignments in, but if you didn't turn this one in, you'll be marked absent. Just keep in mind, it's also 3% of your grade, so it's a fairly easy way to get 3%. And then, of course, you also have, since we're covering a chapter a week, you've got your first chapter 1 exam. 20 questions, true, false, multiple choice, not timed. I think I got it set up to be 2 attempts, but I haven't looked at it since December, so we'll see. So hopefully that gives you a rough idea what to expect. I don't think the assignments and reflection journal are relatively easy. Most of your time will probably be spent in setting up your development environment. And really, if you follow the instructions in the back of the book, you should be okay. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.